All right, in this video, we are going to be setting up a local service ads account completely from scratch. A to Z, I'm gonna walk you through everything setting up a local service profile for the very first time. So if you were not running local service ads at all right now, and you were looking to just get started with local service ads and create your profile, create your account, create your ads, this is the video you need to be watching. Now, if you aren't familiar with local service ads, I have a couple other videos that really go very in depth on how they work, why you should be running them, how to troubleshoot them, and how to optimize them. So I'll link those down below if you want to see some sort of different kind of video or some better of an intro, as I am going to jump right into setting it up. But just for a quick little tidbit of info and background, this is pay-per-lead. It's not pay-per-click. You don't run keywords. You don't run ad copies. There's no landing pages. There's no ad schedule bid adjustments. There's nothing super granular, right? Pay-per-click is a much more complex version of this, is like really what I'm saying. No landing pages, no keywords, nothing like that. No different campaign types, not even any conversion tracking. That's right. You don't have to worry about conversion tracking with local service ads. Yes. However, though, local service ads is only available to specific industries, specific niches, specific business types. You can see the list right here. Obviously, there's a much more in-depth list I can drop below in the description, which links all the specific businesses. Like, for example, there's, not everyone can do it, but honestly, if you're a typical, lead service, local service, home service company, you can probably run local service ads, right? Or you can just simply look at this list right here, maybe pause for a quick second. But most of you out there can probably run local service ads. Now, before we jump in, let me show you a super quick example of what they look like and how they're different. All right, so I just searched in roofers near me. Now, I'm based in Scottsdale. So this very first thing you're seeing here at the top of my page, it looks a little bit different, right? It's kind of like a horizontal ad. This is what local service ads looks like. Sometimes it can actually look a little bit different. On mobile, it looks completely different, but the point is you can identify the difference between this here and then this down here. This is local service ads. This is typical pay-per-click, Google search ads, whatever you want to call it. But this at the top is local service, or Google guarantee, it's commonly known as, right? If I click through to it, it kind of almost identifies like a Google business profile because it is linked to your business profile. So it does pull a lot from there. So your business profile will be very important. We'll get to that. But this is what it looks like. And my only options are to get a phone number, which basically just calls them, or get a quote, which is really just like a messaging, kind of like an email back and forth. But this is it. I don't go to their website. There's no landing page. There's no funnel. There's nothing like that. I simply call them or I click get message. Once I click either of these, they're getting charged as if I'm a lead. There's little bits of information, like sometimes you can dispute it and get credit back, but we don't need to get into nitty gritty right now. But this is what it looks like, right? So you can see the very clear difference between the two types. And obviously, people on lower budgets typically like to start with local service ads. And of course, it's just a no-brainer. I tell everyone I talk to, if you can run local service ads, you absolutely need to be running local service ads. So let's go ahead, let's get started. If you're on this page here, you can just go ahead and hit the get started button and it'll take you to the screen that you're about to see me on right now. So you'll be prompted to do something like this. My screen might look a little bit different than yours just because I'm in like the agency management section, so it looks a little different. But really there's two options, right? We need to first identify, are you a new advertiser or are you already running Google ads? Now let's clarify, right? Are you running Google ads, meaning are you running pay-per-click campaigns? Are you running Google search campaigns, Performance Max, whatever? If you already have a Google ads account, a Google ads pay-per-click account, you can select this here and put in your Google ads ID or your customer ID found in the upper right typically. Now, for this example, for this customer, this client we're doing this for, he does have a Google ads pay-per-click account, so we are going to go ahead and do it this method. Really doesn't change anything at all. It's just the first screen you're seeing. And if you don't have one, that's totally fine. Then you just click for new advertiser and you fill out pretty much all the same information. So let me go ahead and pause real quick and get his information from my sheet and then type it all in. Okay, so you're going to first put in all your information. So for this client, we put his business name, his phone number, their website, their existing Google Ads ID because they already have an account, and then of course their country, region, and zip code, right? So we want to make sure all this lines up, of course. Like for example, use your business zip code. Don't use your home zip code if it is different. You want to make sure everything here is like business specific because they are going to do some verifications and some checks. You want to make sure everything lines up, right? So just keep that in mind. Now for down here, once you put in this super simple information, business categories. This is the selection of what you can actually run on local service ads. And you can see there's a pretty good selection. That's why I said, like most of you out there, probably no worries at all. You'll probably be able to run local service ads. So Find your business type. Now keep in mind that sometimes it's labeled as something else, right? So like if you only offer one specific service, you might have to do some Googling around to see what they categorize it as, because we're gonna select the business category and then later we can select specific job types or like specific services and leads you wanna get leads for. So for him, he does countertops and kitchen remodeling. So it might be under remodeling, they might just have countertops here. So there we go. Countertop services. Now you can see, you can click multiple. So obviously if you offer multiple services and Google categorizes it differently than you would, that's totally fine. Just go ahead and select multiple. Different categories, different industries, different businesses will require different verification steps. Like for example, obviously if you're a lawyer, they're going to require some sort of license and some background checks and some stuff like that. If you're a home service company, they might also require a specific license that's specific to your state, and they also might do a background check, and they'll probably also want to see your insurance. So you'll need some stuff like that. For now, I'm pretty sure for him, we're only doing countertop services. So I'm just going to select countertop services, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit create account. All right, once you submit that, now you're gonna be on this next page. This is where we actually start going through the setup, the process. It's gonna be just a couple questions, kind of the same sort of thing, just fill out information about you and the business, and then we can actually get to the profile. So go ahead and just skim through this and click get started. Now it's gonna ask some pretty simple questions: owner's first name, owner's last name, and then, I don't know why this is grayed out. What is this? Oh, that's weird. It's just probably a little bit glitchy on my end. But what it should be saying right here is how many field workers do you have? This is actually going to be, what do they call it? Let me see. There we go. I just refreshed it. It was being a little funny. Here we are now. Much, much better. Okay, so it should look like this for you now, right? Not the other thing. I don't know what that was. So it's going to ask for the owner's first name, the owner's last name, your business registration name. If it is different, this is very important. For most of you, it probably isn't, but obviously if you have some different government name, DBA, whatever it is, this is probably where you put that. Owner first name, owner last name, year founded, total number of field workers. Just see what it says right here is basically someone, let's see, pretty much employees. That's essentially what it's asking you, right? You can kind of, up to you how you judge it. Don't worry, it's not like they're going to know exactly. So if you don't answer with 100% confidence, it's fine. Just put the total number of field workers or employees you have. Year founded as well, that is very important. And then of course the business address, and then is this a location that you can visit or that customers can visit? So if you have a business address that is just for the purpose of legality and mail, then you can say no. But if, you know, like you're a law office and people do come inside and sit down and consult with you, then sure. Or if you have a showroom, then put yes. So I'm going to go ahead and skim through and fill out this information and be right back. Okay, sweet. Now on to the next step. You are going to go ahead and just select your service area. This can be a little bit tedious just because they don't make it easy. You have to like type in everything individually, whether it be the city or the zip code. So I usually like to come back to this later, but you don't have to. So obviously this guy is located in Buda, Texas. I don't know his exact service area, so I'm just going to put Hays County for now, which is where he's located, and later I'll double check with him, and you can always revise this. So this is where you select your service area, what areas you service. Just go ahead and do that. You can also exclude specific areas as well. I'll let you guys take care of that. Again, if you don't want to do that right now, or you need to go get like a full list of zip codes, you can always change this, so you can move on from now if you need to. Go ahead and hit next. All right, now this is the best part here, right? So this is where you actually select the specific services that you want to get leads for. So if you're, doing roofing or plumbing or whatever, you can select the specific sub-jobs, sub-services that you want to get leads for and what you don't want to get leads for, okay? This is basically local services version of keywords, right? So you don't control the keywords and the targeting, but you control the job types or the services. So our friend here does countertops. So we know he wants to do bathroom countertops. We know he does countertop design. He does kitchen countertops. He does quartz, laminate. He doesn't want in repair or maintenance jobs. I don't think he offers tile, stone slab. He does. Remodeling, yep. Countertop, kitchen remodeling, perfect. Marble countertops, yep. No wall panels, granite, of course. And of course, we do countertop installation. So I have selected the services that he wants to generate leads for. Perhaps you do fireplace facade, or I don't know how to say that. He doesn't, right? So super simple here. Just run through the list, check what you want, leave what you don't want unchecked. Go ahead and then just say, yep, I verify that I do have the professional license required for this. So it will tell you what license you need on the next page, but just go ahead and click yes, click next, and then move on, and we can go to the next step here. Okay, business hours, basically ad schedule. When do you want to get leads? What is your ad schedule? So keep in mind that response time is super, super important on local service ads, as with anything in business, but this will actually affect your rankings, is how fast you reply to these people, get back to these leads, call them back, answer the phone, or message them back. So for most of you, I would say within business hours, right? Within whenever you have a sales rep or reception available to take those calls, take those messages. So I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it at 9 to 6 every single day for this client specifically, because I need him to tell me his specific hours he wants to run the ads. So I'll leave it like this for now. But if you're closed on weekends and you can't take calls and leads on weekends, probably leave it off, right? Unless you know for a fact somehow that comes to your cell and you're gonna be able to pick it up, or you have a call center, or you have some other sort of setup. But for simplicity here, set it to when you're available to take leads, right? So for this guy, we'll do 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., 7 days a week, and we'll go ahead and click next. Again, just like anything else here, you can always change this later, so you can always readjust your ad schedule whenever you need to. Now here, you're gonna wanna go ahead and upload photos of your business, of your team, of your truck, of yourself maybe, of project photos, gallery, all that kind of stuff, right? Tells you exactly what you should be uploading here. Now, I don't actually have his photos on me right now. He's gonna shoot me over a Google Drive of some beautiful countertop photos, so I will add those in here later when we get to the next step, because again, you can add in these photos later. You can change these photos whenever you want. There are specific file sizes, specific file types, and I don't think your photos can contain anything like text or phone numbers. Basically, they're just straight photos, right? So just like raw photography of your countertops, of your kitchen, of you doing hair, or of your team all lined up in front of like your building, right? Stuff like that. These do matter a lot. It is like one of the few things that people see before they click your ad. Like you saw in my example, you literally just see the company name, you see a couple like little tidbits of information, and then a photo. So don't pick an ugly photo, pick an awesome photo. I think team photos are honestly the best because everyone is using the same, like, here's my project, here's my plumbing photo. And especially if you work in something like electrician, roofer, or plumbing, there really aren't any like pretty photos. Like no one wants to see a photo of a roof. No one wants to see a photo of a toilet or a pipe. So I'm all for emphasizing like team photos and then adding in a couple project and work photos, but I'll let you guys go ahead and figure out what you want to add your photos, or do it later like I am. I'm going to click not now because I don't have any, and then move forward. And again, just going to give you a quick little preview. This doesn't really mean anything. Just say, yep, sounds good. Whatever you say, Google, and then move on and click next. All right, we're almost there. Just scroll down, ignore all of this, of course, and then click I accept. We'll move on, and now it should take us to the next step. Yep. So this is where you got to go ahead and do two things. So now we can configure our verification, so like licensing, insurance, background checks, all that good stuff. And then also the actual profile optimization and a couple other key things you guys haven't even seen yet. So of course you need to sync your Google business profile. Now for most of you, you're probably creating this local service account with an affiliated Google Ads account, or you're logged in with whatever your Gmail is, right? So that's why I recommend you log in and do this with your business account, or just something that's affiliated with your business, because you'll get lucky and it will just auto link and detect and sync your business profile. Now, of course, now that I'm looking at this, I just realized it linked the wrong business profile. They have 0 reviews, which is definitely not true. I think they have like over 100. So I will need to contact Google with one of these two methods down below and tell them, hey guys, you messed up, sync the other business profile. So you'll probably run into that. It happens. So if it does auto link your business profile, that's cool. Just double check it like I just did. Make sure it's the correct one. And if it's not, just give them a contact. I'll be honest, you should call that number. They actually have a really good support. Local service support is super on top of things. I always call them. It's super easy. So I'll take care of that after this video. That's pretty simple. And of course, if it is not linked, it did not auto link it, then it will just ask you to link your business profile. Again, super simple. Just click it and go through the next steps. If you do have troubles, again, just contact their support. Now, bidding and budget, we'll manage this on a separate page, but you can just click this and basically say how much do you want to pay per week. We'll talk about that here in a bit. Billing information will be added to your account. So obviously this is an existing ad account. If you need to manage your billing, your payment method, or anything like that, you can just click this link and it will take you to Google Ads, where you can insert your credit card and all your billing information. Business registration. So again, you'll probably see different tasks here depending on what business you are. So this isn't a lawyer, so you're not going to see anything about a lawyer license or a headshot or any photos or anything like that. So what you see on your screen is likely going to be somewhat different, but just go down the checklist. It's all super simple. Just go through each and every one and just knock them out, right? It tells you exactly what to do. Like right here, add the authorized business representative. Easy. First name, last name, email, and then proof of affiliation. I don't know, maybe I'll do like a business document or the insurance or some file document that he has, maybe taxes, I don't know. Identity verification, again, super simple. You'll get an email from something called Evident. You and maybe any other representatives or admins within the business will have to go through this. It's super simple. You like upload a license, some information about you, and then they do a background check and you're good in usually a couple days. So go through this business verification thing first. I would recommend doing this first because many of these things will take a couple days to process. So if you do it all first, you got yourself 3 or 4 days of time to go ahead and play around with maybe the profile and some other things. So go ahead, take care of this, and then let's discuss what else would be next, such as the profile and budget. All right, this here now is where you can actually go ahead and adjust your profile. Like I said, all that stuff I skipped is because you can do it here now on this page. So it shows right now his ad is on. Obviously, it won't actually be live until all checks are passed. I'm gonna go ahead and flick this off just because I don't want it to accidentally go on and I don't know about it. So when you do want to run your ads or when you do want to pause them, it's just this little indicator here in that corner. Now, of course, we have the postal code, the phone number, the business phone number, the website, the address, and you see business bio. Go ahead and click that pencil icon next to it, and you're gonna have a couple selections. Again, this is all like pre-fill. You don't get to do anything custom here. So just select what is relevant to you. These are like your standout business features, right? So if you're woman-owned, maybe select woman-owned. For him, 16 years in the business is a pretty big deal, so I'm gonna go ahead and obviously mark that. We know he does free consultations, free estimates, so I'm gonna go ahead and select those as well. And then if there's anything else that stands out, to be fair, they're usually kind of bland and basic, so I don't see anything else that's special. You don't have to use all 6. 16 years in business is probably the biggest deal here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just move forward with that one. You'll see those populate, and then people like, searching your ad, they'll see that underneath the ad, like a little tidbit, little information, a little description. Bidding and budget. So this is where you control the budget. Now let's talk about this for a second, okay? If you haven't seen my other videos on local service ads or you just don't know much about local service ads, this is not actually how much you're gonna spend. This is like a cap, okay? So if you put your weekly budget, again, emphasis on weekly, to maybe something like $1,000 per week. Google's saying, hey, we estimate you could get 14 leads per week with that budget, and that's around $4,500 a month. $4,500 a month. I don't know how it gets that math. I think that should come out to 4,000, but okay. Google's basically saying this is your cap. We will not spend more than $1,000 per week with your money, and this is what we estimate. But take it with a grain of salt. I say that because there could be some weeks you get like 0 leads at all, which means you spend 0, okay? Local service ads is kind of 50-50 sometimes, and we have some clients that get leads 30 a week for the last 2 years. We have some that have weeks with 0 leads, and then the next week they get 10. Like, it's just weird, okay? There's like little things you can do to adjust it, but it's not like pay-per-click where it's spending daily consistently. So keep that in mind. Think of this as more like a cap and something you can do to optimize. Again, I have longer videos on this, but like, for example, sometimes jacking up that budget really high can help. Sometimes turning that budget really low can actually help and yield more leads. I don't know. It's just a weird thing. People just screw around with your profile until it works. So for now, for a first timer, just set a reasonable budget. So I think he did say he wants to spend around $450 per week, which comes out to, what is that? Roughly $2K per month. Cool. We'll go ahead and hit save. And again, we can always change this. If he doesn't get any leads in 2 weeks, I'll jack it up to $900 a week and see what happens. So as for bidding, don't touch this. Just leave it on automated bidding. You can test one of the other ones, but we've never had good success. I highly recommend just using automated bidding for maximized leads. Again, job types right here. You already know what that is. So if you messed up or you want to change, you want to add or remove a job type, go ahead and click that. On some categories, you'll probably see something that says other. Yep, right here. So other, I don't know what that means. You don't know what that means. None of us really know what that means. That's kind of one of those things where you're like, I need some leads, I'll get them. But here's the downside. Other is basically just going to show your ads for anything granite, or in this case, anything countertop related that isn't any of these. So you're going to get a lot of really vague inquiries and searches. I don't really have the best answer to what other is, but when we do turn it on, we get pretty much crappy leads and no one knows what they are. So I would recommend turning it off. The only time I'd recommend turning other on is if you're really in a dry spell and you're just not getting any leads at all. Kind of treat it as like a last resort thing. Like, let's just turn that on and see what happens. But for our clients, we just turn it off. It doesn't do anything. Photos, again, add in photos right there. We'll add in some photos later once I get some. All right, now these 2 settings. Direct business search. This is branded. This is basically, hey, do you want to spend money and get leads when people search your name? So if someone searches unique countertops in his area on Google, his local service will pop up for that branded search. Up to you. It is pretty cheap, honestly, and especially with how competitive Google Ads is and how many people are doing these kind of things. I always say just do it, because by the time you scroll to like the organic section now, you've scrolled past like 9 ads. So just enable it. Honestly, it's going to do you more good than harm by just enabling it. It's super cheap, but if you don't want your ads to appear for your branded name at all, just turn it off. No biggie. All right, now message leads. So by default, you will always get phone call leads. You can enable message leads if you want, which allows customers to reach you through text and email. I recommend it if you're able to get back to customers in a timely manner. See how it says that right here? Through text and email. Again, they take this very seriously. They need you to be on that shit like fast, okay? Fast response times are super important. So if you guys can handle emails, text, or both, do it. Great. You'll probably get more leads, honestly. It's more opportunity for you guys to get business. If you know for a fact you guys are just, hey man, we only do phone calls. We're really good on the phones. We're not so good on email and text support. That's okay. No shame in that. Just keep it off, right? Don't harm yourself just trying to be like everyone else. Don't do that, right? So I'm going to turn this off because I don't think they want to do emails and text. I believe they only want to do phone calls. I'll confirm with the client later. But again, same thing. You can always adjust and tweak that. Service area, again, you can revise your service area right here. You can change your zip code, your town, your city, your county. Go ahead and do that. Business hours, same thing. Again, you can go ahead and adjust your business hours or your ad schedule. Just keep in mind what your account time zone is. There's been a couple instances where the time zone that Google selects is different than where the actual business is located, so the times don't add up at all. So if for whatever reason you're in some random time zone Google has you assigned in, but you're actually over here based in Texas or whatever, just do the math and figure out the ad schedule to be proper. So this is the page where you adjust and add photos and tweak everything about it. And then, of course, you have the business verification page, which is what we were just on previously. That's where you upload your documents, your files, your background check, and actually complete the steps so you can go live on local service ads. Now, that is pretty much it. That is everything. You should be able to complete the remaining steps of your business verification on your own. You should be able to complete the steps or the settings on your business profile page on your own from here. Once you've completed all the verification steps, your business profile is filled out entirely, and that blue indicator right here is turned on. You're running, you're live. You can see your report right here, which is going to show you numbers like how much you've spent, how many leads you've gotten, your impressions, auction insights, stuff like that, just kind of, little techie data. Obviously, there's nothing going on here because his ads aren't live. We just created this 10 minutes ago. And then there is also the lead section. This is where all the leads will come in. So if you want to, check back and be like, was this lead from local service ads? Or I want to see how many leads I got this month. I want to export all the leads I got, yada, yada, yada. This is where you do this. This is where you can manage those leads. You can archive them, mark them as booked, mark them as spam or telemarketing or competitor or stuff like that. You can also see which leads Google charged you for. You can't dispute leads anymore, but their AI is pretty decent, so they're able to, listen to the call and detect, hey, this was a spam or telemarketer, so we're going to go ahead and credit you this and take it off your bill. So that's kind of how they deal with that. A lot of other little settings in here you really don't need to worry about. Like most of these you'll probably never touch. Business verification, leads, and profile and budget are really the 3 main tabs you're going to be checking. Policy manager. Pop in here every once in a while because if you do have a policy restriction on your account or something bad happens, it's going to basically kill your ads, and they don't really make it too obvious. Like they don't tell you. So I usually check this like once or twice a month for our clients just to make sure there's no random like weird policy or issue. So again, we don't have any policy violations, so we're in the clear. But that's pretty much the gist of it. Just go through this, knock through it, complete business verification, your profile, budget, all that fun stuff, and then boom, take your ads live. Now, if you have any questions about local service ads, about setting it up, about troubleshooting, about optimizing it, or anything at all that we covered in this video, drop it down below in the comments. I am more than happy to further help answer any questions and make an additional video if needed. Thank you so much, and good luck.